Well, God morning, EM fam. Emma Ansah here for another live stream. And I hope everybody's doing well on this another cold, wintry day here in Ontario. And of course, as usual, I'm in defiance mode. So I am wearing red, the color of victory. And even though it's a sweater and it's a turtleneck sweater because it is cold and I'm feeling a little bit of cold inside my house. So I said, you know what? Even though I have to put on a sweater, I'm at least going to put on a sweater with color. Okay? So thanks so much for joining this morning for another live. And as I always say, I love joining live. I love engaging with y'all. So thank you for joining me. I know people must have to work and have, things going on at 10 in the morning on a weekday, right? So I really appreciate you taking the time to tune in with me. And today we're going to talk about this brother by the name of Trey Sherman, who was a associate producer at CBS Plus. It was like an evening streaming extension segment, and he was the associate producer, as I said. And he found out that he got laid off. He got laid off by an executive. And we're going to get into what happened, why it happened, and why he confronted them ultimately. But first, let me say hi to some people that are joining. Hey, Michael Hairston, you said you love seeing me live. Thank you. I love going live. So, and I thank you for taking the time to come and engage with me live. You never know sometimes. You decide to go live, and the worst case scenario can be nobody shows up and you're like talking live to nobody. Right? So I really appreciate you all taking the time out to spend time with me. So I would say some hi to a few more people. Hey, Vanessa, morning. How you doing? Hi, Troy. Sounds about white, right? Yes, of course, and it is. Sheila, good morning from cold Florida. What? It's cold in Florida? I'm thinking that's the place I need to like try and find a little cottage or something where when we start getting into the cold weather here in Canada, I can fly down to Florida and then come back in the spring or summer. But you're saying it's cold there? What part of Florida are you in? Hey, Mo Cancer, blessed Canada. Yeah, my favorite Wednesday with Emma. Oh, we should come up with a name for that. Thank you. What should we call Wednesday? I know everybody calls it Hump Day, but we got to come up with a special name for Wednesdays. Black Boys. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, Danny. Hey, hey, hey. Grand Rising, Andrea. Hey, Taz Ward. Grand Rising, Black Czar 09. Mo Cancer. Red looks great on me. Thank you. Color always looks good on us, right? So that's why I feel like even though it's winter, I'm just still going to wear color. Okay. Every day I'm going to wear multicolors or one solid color, but it's always going to be color. Emma Wednesdays. Hey, okay. I'll go with that. Emma Wednesday. It's Emma Wednesday. So thanks so much for joining me on Emma Wednesday. So you know what? Let's get into this topic. So Trey Sherman, as I said, he was an associate producer for CBS Evening News Plus, and it's a streaming extension of the flagship network. Okay, so he also worked for the Race and Culture Unit. Turns out that he finds out he gets laid off. Okay, and anyway, let's just watch it, and then we'll talk about it further. Wonderful Wednesdays with Emma. Hey, I love it. Okay, that's what it's gonna be. Thank you for the smile, the compliment about my smile. I swear I'm gonna come up with some sort of sound effect. So whenever I smile, we hear ting or something like that. I don't know. I'll come up with something. Hey Patty, thanks for joining. CBS canceled. Oh my gosh. There's so much going on over there. So let's listen to what this brother has to say and then we'll talk further.
Off from my job at CBS, and every producer on my team who got laid off is a person of color. Every person who gets to stay and will be relocated within the company is a white person. Now, in my meeting with the executive, who told me I was getting laid off. I specifically asked him if it was a consideration for us to be relocated somewhere else within the company, and he said that we advocated to keep the show. We advocated to try to get you relocated somewhere, and we couldn't. Because I asked him, why are you the person who is making this decision or delivering the news that we're being laid off? And he said, oh, it could have been anyone. Only to later find out, because it wasn't until I went downstairs thinking that me and all of my colleagues had been laid off, that I found out that it was only the people of color. So I went one by one to my white colleagues. Are you getting laid off? No. 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 So I went back up to his office and I told him, I think you lied to my face. And come to find out, it was not his decision to eliminate the show that I work for. But he did get to decide who got to stay. I told him, you said that you couldn't get us relocated, only to find out that you were able to get some people relocated and they all happen to be white. Am I supposed to believe that that's a coincidence? And he said, yes, I'm supposed to believe that's a coincidence. I said, do you believe that's a coincidence? He said, I do, because I chose to keep the people who I had worked with before. So mind you, not only is it not based on merit, it is in its result racist. I don't care if you decided to keep people who had purple colored hair. You deciding to keep people who you had worked with before, which don't even know if that's true. If the outcome of that decision is racist, the action was racist, that's
I mean, listen, there's no there's no mistake in here because I come to find out that the race and culture unit was completely dissolved. So there, and within that unit it was over 100 employees. So all of those people, and all of them black, lost their jobs. And when he confronted that executive, he finds out that executive is the one who made the decision on who gets to go and who gets to stay. And coincidentally, every single person that gets let go is black, including the race and culture unit. I mean, even Stevie Wonder can see what it is. Okay. This is anti Black racism. And at the end of the day, these large conglomerates like CBS, they're an institution. And we know that there's systemic racism in these major institutions, right? So there's no mistaking. It is what it is, right? Penny says, white corporate America at its best. Yeah. It's a corporation. What did you think was going to happen? Exactly. I am, oh, you're in the Gulf side of Florida. Okay, the Atlantic side. I didn't realize it gets cold out there. Huh, interesting. Has everyone ever heard of Wayland Yutani Corporation? I've not. Yeah, Sin2 says basically. So maybe that's one of the reasons he identifies incorrectly. Not shocked. Pendulum of fatigued. Bingo, sis. Yeah. Why y'all can't sue? Only black people getting laid off? You know what? They can. I think he can sue. I think he can go to. I know here in Canada we have what's called the labor board, but what I will say is, oftentimes a lot of these major institutions, these large institutions, they lawyer up really good, and they make sure that they do things like give you these astronomical packages and stuff like that to keep you quiet. And then when they put contracts in front of you, because I've been down this road here too. I've worked for those large corporations. I like to call them the corporate plantation, which I left because I was sick and tired of that. And, they come along and then they tell you, oh, thank you for all your work. Unfortunately, we decided that we're dissolving this unit. We are no longer going to need this department. And then all of us get let go, and they give you this obscene amount of money, and they make you sign something saying you won't sue, you won't go around trashing the company, you won't do all this stuff. And then they say, if you sign this, we're going to give you even more money. So they do what they need to do. And that's why I always say it's super important when you get a job, read the contract. And it's really okay to take a couple of days, read the contract, not only read the contract, but get an employee attorney, or if you know an attorney, or you can hire an attorney to really go through everything and make sure, because they know what they're doing and they make sure they cover their hoo-haws, if you know what I mean. So it really isn't a shock, Vanessa says. Discrimination lawsuit. Yeah, facts bother. He and Ray Charles both see that, and both have experienced that, their fair share of racism. Exactly. It's a fictitious corporation from the movie Aliens. They became so powerful, life was expendable upon completion of missions and even jobs. They should get together and sue collectively. Yeah, like a class action lawsuit or something like that wouldn't be a bad idea, especially because, like I said, over 100 staffers and all Black. Uh, so yeah, Vanessa says, yes, corporation has always been a plantation. Yep, I call it the corporate plantation as well. And, it took me a few years because, in general, we as people, we have bills, we have to work, you get uh, benefits, you get all of those things, health benefits and medical benefits and all of the perks that come with working in the corporate plantation. But at what cost? At some point, you have to realize, okay, I'm not going to allow my blood pressure to go up. I'm not going to be feeling a certain type of way every time I go into this organization. You feel a certain way, you feel anxious, you feel like, okay, what's coming next? Who's going to discriminate me? What am I not going to get? How much more work do I have to keep doing to prove my worth as a Black person? You go through all of that. And at some point, you got to say, you know what? I can't anymore. But, he was an associate producer. He obviously loves what he does. And he thought, okay, they got a race and culture unit. This is a good thing. But when they're ready, they do what they have to do, right? Corporate executives know in a future not too far, it will be only a few corporations survive. You know what? That is true. I really feel like mainstream media in general is a dying breed. Like at the end of the day, I was looking at some statistics, and it's a very small percentages that literally sit and watch a lot of these mainstream, stations anymore. People are on TikTok, people are on YouTube. People are streaming, people are watching platforms like Emancipation Media, African Diaspora News Channel, and the other ones, Roland Martin, et cetera, et cetera. This is where the future is going. And even with the younger generations and stuff, everybody's like this. They got their devices in front of them. So at the end of the day, these CBSs and ABCs and what have you, eventually is gonna, they're gonna start to fizzle out, and it's gonna be obsolete. Even people who've been fired, like look at Candace Owens. She's moved on and has her own channel, and even that hideous woman Megan Kelly, who got fired from mainstream, she's got her own channel, and she's on Sirius XM, which is satellite. So eventually that's where we're leading more and more and more. Candace Owens is getting another viewership than CNN. Exactly. So they have moved on, and they're doing better. And like exactly like you just said, Omega Dreads, AI. Listen, AI avatars are doing it. You can watch a whole program, and it's just an AI voice that's doing the whole segment, and people are tuning in. So my whole point is that even though Trey Sherman lost his job, I too would definitely look into some sort of see what my rights are, you know, uh, with you letting me go and finding out it's only one race of people, the Black race, that was let go. He did respond though, because there was he got a lot of messages, and some people were backlash, and some people were telling him, yeah, sue, do this, do that. So he did offer a response to what had happened, and kind of where his mindset is and what he's feeling and all of that stuff. So let's listen to what he had to say.
Ago, I posted a video on TikTok that went viral about being laid off from CBS along with all my other colleagues of color while the white producers on my team were reassigned. And I've been struggling to figure out what to say, how to capitalize on this attention that I have in this moment because I recognize that media is a business of attention and your attention is precious.
assuming that I still have it, I just want to say that I am grieving the end of a relationship with a company that I devoted 5 cumulative years of my life to. And up until this occurred, I thought that we had a mutual relationship built on respect. But I also want to point out that this has never been about me getting some money. And I'm just going to speak from my heart. If it was about the money, I would have just shut up and filed a lawsuit or took the money. But in this moment, to me, it is more important now to keep telling this story and to point out what this is a result of, because it's bigger than just me and some black and brown people getting laid off from CBS. It's bigger than the fact that that is happening across departments, across industries. And what this is really about is the consolidation of media and the Trump administration's efforts to control it. What people are getting wrong about this too is that I'm accusing David Ryder or any executive or any other person at CBS of being a racist, when what I clearly said was whatever policy they used to go about laying people off had a racist or disparate impact on my team. And I don't think that anyone went and looked at a list and said, get rid of all these black and brown people. I think that Barry Weiss was paid a lot of money to not lead a news organization, but to carry out an anti DEI agenda. Donald Trump, on his first day in office, signed an executive order getting rid of diversity, equity, and inclusion in the federal government. The private sector took note and one by one started slashing those programs. And now we're seeing the next step of that, because on the day that the Skydance merger was approved in the acquisition of Paramount, the FCC chairman sent a letter praising Skydance for not having any DEI initiatives and for vowing to eliminate it from the company. And so, like I said, being unable to separate DEI from diverse employees, this is what it looks like in practice. And whether it's about race or gender, what it looks like, this is about eliminating diversity of thought. I just want all of you to consider what it means to trust a news organization like CBS when we can't even trust that they're being honest with their employees. In this moment, I am not a victim. I'm a journalist, and that's what I'm going to be with or without CBS.
So he said a few things that I wanted to touch on. First, he started by saying it's not about the money. Um, and I think he's responding because a lot of people are saying sue, 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 sue. Everybody's saying go to sue, sue, sue. And he's saying, the reason why he went viral and recorded that video, that wasn't at top of mind. But I would say now that the dust is settled, okay, he gave this company 5 years of his life. He more than paid his dues. So I would be looking to sue. I absolutely would. I don't know what kind of package he was given. But like I said, a lot of these corporations will do the most to make sure that they keep you quiet by giving you massive packages. But I'm not sure what the structure is like in the United States. I know they do that here big time. So maybe it's not about money for him, but I think he needs to consider making it about money at this point. Right? Let's see. What are you all saying? They are starting to shut down now. CVS here in Los Angeles are closing stores. Oh, wow. Sheila says there isn't much on TV worth watching. I agree. I mean, I let go of cable a long time ago. I'm a streamer. I'm on YouTube. I'm watching, channels like this. I'm watching my coworkers do what they do the best. I'm watching these kinds of things. Moog says, I'm hurt for my brother. Yeah, it's very hurtful. And, I know in the United States, Thanksgiving is in November. For us in Canada, it's October. And it's a big holiday for you. So to be let go just before the holidays for those who celebrate it, I personally don't, but for those who celebrate it, and not knowing where your next paycheck's going to be, that's tough. So I'm hurting for him too. Gary, hey Gary says class action lawsuit. Um and Omega says it sucks, but it's never stopped me. Yeah, and it shouldn't. It's definitely about race. Yeah, that's the other thing I want to talk about. He said he's not necessarily saying that they're racist, but he's saying it's a race, the policy is racist. But at the end of the day, who created the policy? At the end of the day, who is the decision maker who decided to let go of all Black and, as he said, brown people? So, what does that suggest? Now, it will be one thing if they let go of a bunch of people and it was, different races, then okay, I can see that. But you only letting go of one race of people and one race and cultural unit, and you don't think it's about racism? I'm not sure. I don't agree with that either. It's called DEI. Yes, and that's the other thing. He mentioned that, Trump dismantled DEI, and he feels like this is I guess, the second wave of DEI being dismantled. I always felt like DEI didn't benefit us anyway. It benefited the folks. But he feels like now this is like almost phase two, and here is the ripple effect of DEI. uh, because holidays are coming up. Yeah, that's what I was just saying. That would be white women and men. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. What's up, family? Oh, hey, from Inglewood. Hey, Ronald. Um, Janet, what does he? Does he not know how CBS did Janet Jackson decades ago? Oh, yes. How can we forget that? He mentioned that he trusted this company. And, I mean, if you're there for 5 years and you've been producing and, you're doing well, I guess you can earn some level of trust, I guess. For me personally, I learned that I can never trust the corporate plantation ever. Okay. But, this is a lesson learned. He did say that he's going to be a journalist. He is a journalist, and also he's a producer. Listen, and in this day and age, if you have that talent and skill, he can get his own channel and he will do just fine. Just fine. I'm sure he has a following. I mean, I would follow him. If he started a channel, I'd sign up, I'd subscribe. Absolutely. I'm sure he has beautiful stories to share too, now that he's left that plantation, right? Could you imagine? Um, Now they can hire new folks at them base rates. Yeah, that's the other thing too. Oftentimes they do that. They'll do that and then they'll hire like interns or students that just came out of school and pay them minimum wage, and probably all, snow citizens, right? So I hope this king will get picked up by another major network or corporation, and he might. If I were him, I wouldn't trust to go back to any major network or corporation. I wouldn't do it. Do your own. Don't go there, because at the end of the day, it's systemic. It's baked in. So if it's not here, somewhere else will probably do it at some point. Vanessa says exactly. It's just ain't right, but they reap what they sow. Facts. Them gay TV tokens, who cares? They already know what it was. Hi there from New York. Hey, William. I enjoy your lives, Emma. Thank you so much. I'm going to keep coming live. I enjoy doing it. Never underestimate them. Exactly. You got to always, keep your eyes, your ears open. We're smart, we're intuitive. We know what it is. So we always have to be prepared. I mean, I had to learn the hard way because I went through 3 different companies of working over a decade, and then some company buys them, and then before you know it, you're sitting in front of somebody and it's like, we're sorry, but we've decided to move in a different direction. So I've been let go. I've been let go. And, I went right back home and got right back on Indeed and looked for another corporate job. And again, like I said, I had to learn. It was 3 strikes. It happened to me 3 times. And after the 3rd time, I said, oh, heck no, especially because they had the caucasity to tell me I wasn't getting a raise. They're like, yeah, we're not going to give you a raise this year. We're going to leave you where you're at. And that's when I was like, okay, God, I hear you. I hear you, God. I hear the sign. I hear you. And it's time to exit the corporate plantation. So, yeah, we definitely have to really make sure that we exercise our beautiful wisdom. William says it's sad to hear that, and I love that. I work with mostly Black folks at my job, and it's got a government agency. Oh, that's really great. I hope the government agency is also treating the Black employees right, because that's a whole other story that I will be talking about live on African Diaspora News Channel, with the way the Black employees are treated in the government sector here in Canada. So stay tuned for that. That's tomorrow at 4 p.m. Oh my God, that's what they do all the time. The holidays bring the greatest joy and pain for many. What better times to drop the unemployment, right? It's strategic. Like Don Lemon, he's doing way better now than he was exactly at CNN. He left and he's doing good, or was let go. And he's doing just fine. What's this? Is white people? Sorry. White people always look out for their own people. Exactly. So when he was given a list, he said, "Okay, this is the Black people. Bye bye, Black people, and here's the white people." And then did you hear? He had the nerve when Brother Trey asked him, "Do you mean to tell me it's a coincidence that only all Black people were let go?" And the man opened his caucasity mouth and said, "Yes, it is a coincidence." Really? Do they think we're stupid? Like, give me a break. Vanessa says, well, sorry, Vanessa, into yours there, where brick and mortars aren't profiting under the Trump administration. So this is just the beginning of job loss. This is probably why they didn't want people staying in remote work. Good point, Vanessa. Good point. Shari Redstone of Paramount Global is the key decision maker for CBS. And is Shari Redstone one of the folks? That's what they do to us. Yep, Shan says that's what they do to us. Yeah, good morning. You're right. Look at Brittany. She has her own alternative news channel called Bad Faith. Exactly. It's like I always say the power, the brilliance, the intelligence, the light, what we bring and what we have to offer is something that is unrivaled. And so we just need to tap into that. So, Brother Trey said he's grieving. Have your moment, because of course it's a shock. It's, you're going to be like, what? You did that to me? So you definitely take your moment, but at the same time, take all your talent, brother. Take all your talents, all your knowledge, all the knowledge you picked up working for them, and move on and build your own, and never look back. Put them in your rear view mirror. I'll watch the video. Yeah, watch it. Emma, when are you visiting New York City? Phil said he's coming next year. I hope the whole African Diaspora channel staff follow. Will be an honor to meet and see you. You have a massive Oh, hey, you know what? I love New York. Okay. Thanks, Mo. I love New York. I've been there so many times. And do you know what? Sorry, family. Just let me indulge me for a few minutes. I went to Bronx because the first time I went to New York, I said, I want to go somewhere where it's like, you know, not touristy, like not Manhattan, whatever. And I said, so I want to go to Bronx. So I went to Bronx, and I got to tell you, I really loved it there. I loved the grit of it. I loved the rawness. I loved going to the, what is it called? The bodega, and getting a sandwich. Like, I loved it. And then I said, I want to take the train to Manhattan because I wanted to experience the subway. So I took the train. Now that was a long train ride. Okay. I didn't realize how long it was, but I loved the whole experience. And then went to Central Park. And then I went to, what's that street? Canal Street, where they sell all the knockoffs. And I bought all these knockoffs. And then the following day I went to Harlem, and I will never forget this restaurant in Harlem. It's called Mana's. And I hope they're still there. And it was owned by two brothers. And they had like a whole buffet spread of the best food. Oh my gosh, I could not stop eating. I had um, banana pudding and catfish, and it was like a brunch. Oh my gosh, I'm just anyway. I'm sorry, family. I just needed to talk about New York for a second. So, hey, if Brother Phil is doing something in New York, you better believe I'll be on the first thing smoking out there. I love New York, and it's actually not too far from me. I can go over to the Buffalo airport and fly and be up and down in like 30 minutes. So say less. I'm there. I'm totally there. It would be wonderful to meet you too, Mo. Um, your hair suits you like that, and that color red complements your skin color more than the muted colors. I'm listen, I'm about color. I'm about color. I'm going to keep wearing color. Thank you very, very much. Emma's popular bringing all the tea. Oh, and I'll keep bringing tea. And you know what? Since it's so cold, tomorrow I'll have some hot tea and cocoa, and it'll be piping hot for tomorrow's topic. Oh, that's where you are. You're in Bronx, Mo? Okay. I love Bronx. I really do. The only place I haven't gone yet is Brooklyn. I went to what's that other place called? Sorry, I can't think of the other place in New York that I went. Something Island. If you guys can think of what the name is. And I also went to Newark, New Jersey as well. So I've been around. And then, of course, I've been to Buffalo, New York a gazillion times. So because it's super close. It's not too far for us here in Ontario. We always bounce back. So as he said, got a bit of traction on his video. He should find a place to report the way he needs. Exactly. You like Bronx? Hell no. I'm from Queens and I hate Bronx. I loved it there. When you come, I'm going to be your tour guide. Okay. All right. Staten Island. That's it. And Coney Island. That's another one. Yes, I've been to those places as well. But I preferred the grit. I preferred the grittiness of Bronx. And then I loved the grittiness of Harlem, which is actually even like much more cleaned up. I really loved it. Um, so Long Island, New York. Long Island, that's it. Thank you. You're from Newark. Okay, Derek. Yeah, I've been to Newark too. And I went shopping in this place and I went crazy there. Okay. Like I just loved it. So yeah, I love New York. We're like totally talking about New York right now, but I do. I really, really love New York. Even Buffalo. I love it there. Get on that plane. The Toronto Raptors were here yesterday playing the Brooklyn Nets for a Canadian. You've been around. Oh, let me tell you, I'm a dual citizen. So I go back and forth to the United States all the time. Another city that I really love is Cleveland, Ohio, believe it or not. I know it's called the Mistake by the Lake, but I go there a lot. I have my best friends live out there. So I literally for a good 10 years it was literally my second home and I almost bought a home there. That's how much I was in Cleveland. But then after COVID and all that stuff, I kind of wasn't going as much. And then now with these tariffs that are being charged by your president and this tariff tit for tat war that's going on between Canada and the United States, Canadians aren't really traveling that much to America anymore, including myself. But I listen. I love the United States. I love y'all. Okay. Love, love, love my American brothers and sisters. And I'm a Ghanaian that lives in Canada. And I'm telling you, I love y'all. Cleveland is a beautiful, especially in the winter. Oh, I don't know about Cleveland winters. I remember once I drove down to Cleveland and there was a surprise snowstorm. And so they shut down the I-90 and I was stuck there for 3 days. Fortunately, like I said, I got best friends there and I was stuck there. So I was like, you know what? I don't know if I want to go in the winter again, but the summers are beautiful. Yes, I am a dual citizen. I'm actually more than dual, but yes, I'm a dual citizenship between Canada and the United States. Um, oh, I should watch out for Cleveland. Well, I've been going there since 2007. I've been okay so far. Oh, good. I'm so glad. We love you as well. Thank you, Vanessa. Love you back. So yeah, family. So you know what? Let's pray for this brother. Let's pray for Trey Sherman. And if we do see him pop up with his own podcast or something, let's all support him. And that's what we need to do as Black people, right? We need to unify. We need to support our, Black brothers and sisters they're doing their thing. And we can't allow these large conglomerates that are run by those from the Neanderthal nation to bring us down, right? Uh, you know, they can keep knocking us down, they can keep trying to drag us down, but it's what we do when we get up, right? And that's what really counts. And like I keep saying, we as Black people, and I will say it till thy kingdom come, we are the best. We're the best at what we do, and we are always, better than they are in everything that we do. We excel at, and they know this. They know this, and it threatens them, and they are fearful of it. And that's why they're always finding a way to take us out. But like I said, we are the best. We are the best. We are the chosen. We are the first. We are the last. We will be the last. And so we need to really start tapping into that, our brilliance, and not allowing these folks, not allowing them to take us down. So, hey, let's give Trey Sherman all the love and light and say, yeah, brother, you press on. You have it. You press on and do your thing. And we will be here to cheer you on and to support you. So that's my sermon for the morning. So with that, I will love you and leave you all, but I will be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. and we will talk about the next hot topic. So stay warm for those that are in cool places. Stay cool for those who are in hot places. Wednesday Truths and Gospel narrated by Goddess Emma. Hey, I love that. Wonderful Wednesday. What are we going to call Thursday and Friday? Let's think about it. And we'll talk about that tomorrow morning. So I shall see you all tomorrow at 10 a.m. Until then, please be safe, everyone. Peace be.